Next guest made a name for herself behind the scenes as a New York Times best-selling ghostwriter for conservative political figures, including Ann Romney and Sarah Palin's daughter, Bristol. But when Nancy French was not willing to endorse Donald Trump, she found herself out of work, with allies shunning her, Republicans mocking her, white nationalists targeting her, and her church community alienating her. In a new memoir out today entitled Ghosted, An American Story, French writes, quote, "The religious right, which I defended my whole life, had abandoned the posture of family values when they had the chance to gain a seat at the table. It confused me to hear the values preached from the podium, but ignored in real life. It was all a lie. And so was the lesser of two evils myth." And Joe, Nancy joins us now. This book, Joe, is a fascinating personal look at Trumpism versus true conservatism. And, you know, we have David on the show all the time.
Right.
But the better half is finally on Morning Joe this morning.
I got to say, usually when somebody comes on the show and they have a book, I'm like leaning forward and here, I'm just like, this is too familiar. This is so familiar. I mean, unfortunately, you and David and I have had similar backgrounds growing up in the church. But all of these people that were your friends and even in your community, and were even closer than friends in your church community, just abandoned you.
Right. Yeah.
The day you decided not to follow along and support a guy who said he never had the need to ask Jesus for forgiveness.
Right, right. I know. And so the title of the book is Ghosted because I've been a ghostwriter, but also because of all of these groups of people that I thought would support me, but who turned their back on me just pretty quickly whenever I made that decision not to support Trump. It was pretty shocking.
Right. And so walk us through, if you will, just how tight you were in the conservative community. You were a ghostwriter. You were constantly, clients constantly calling you, asking you to help. And you didn't change your viewpoint.
Yeah, not much.
They changed theirs for the most part.
Yeah, I grew up with Ronald Reagan on my walls.
Right.
I loved him so much. And so when I got, to be employable, I decided to be a ghostwriter, and I got to work with the best people in the Republican Party, or the most prominent people in the Republican Party. And so I even lived with Sarah Palin in Alaska for a month, which was very dramatic and fun and cold. And she made me moose hot dogs and casseroles and stuff. So that was exciting. And then in 2012, David French won the Ronald Reagan Award at CPAC. And we would never be invited back again. That was like, they were like, this is the best that conservatism has to offer. And we were standing on stage and receiving so much applause. We've never been back. And now we're about as popular as head lice in the Republican Party.
Yeah. It's really crazy, Willie, and we've talked about it a good bit. People I grew up with, people you've known, it's just Donald Trump completely changed them.
Yeah, I'm curious when you saw the change. I always think back to the summer of 2015 when conservatives and Republicans I'm friends with and know, and we would talk, and they would mock Donald Trump. These are, let's say, Wall Street guys who said, we would never do business with this guy. He's a joke. And then in the summer of 2016, it was like a 180. They were fully on board with it, whether it was about Hillary for some of them, or they all of a sudden liked the way he was talking, and he's unfiltered, and he's saying the things we're not allowed to say anymore and all that. I saw it flip there. Where did you see it in this last decade or so politically? Yeah, well, the moment, and I was a huge Celebrity Apprentice fan. I loved Donald Trump. I loved watching him on TV. But then when he started running, I was alarmed, alarmed, alarmed. The biggest moment of alarm when I realized that everyone was coalescing behind him was when he was mocking John McCain for being a prisoner of war. Yep. And I was at church when that happened, when I was scrolling on Twitter at church. And I saw that, and I read it to my friends. And I thought that, because these are people who supported the troops. They supported my husband when he was deployed to Iraq. They made us boxes. They're patriotic. And when I read it out loud, I thought that they would be alarmed, but they laughed. And so as a ghostwriter, I have to really be aware of what conservatives think. And at that moment, I realized I was out of step.
I was like, I do not know what conservatives think. We used to support the military. We never would mock someone for being so valorous. This is amazing. So anyway, so I realized I was out of step, that I wasn't going to be able to convey conservative ideas anymore.
Nancy, you've already had a full life.
Right.
In this book, looking at this book.
Yeah.
But part of your life growing up was pretty brutal. Growing up in Appalachia, some ugly things happened to you.
Yes.
You meet David French, your husband.
Yeah.
Did he change your life, save your life? What did he do with you?
Yes, both. He's amazing. I appreciate him so much because he walked into my life. He actually told me about God in a way that I understood, because a lot of times you go to church and you feel like you're walking into a movie like with 10 minutes to go and you don't know who the characters are or what's happening. But he explained to me God. I was able to have faith because of him. And then also, he's just really fun. Like, we got married very quickly. I detail this in the book. We got married. He was like a complete stranger, and we got married like 3 months later. But I told someone then that I would never tire of talking to him, and 28 years later, it is completely true.
By the way, you started getting phone calls, didn't you?
I did.
You got to tell this. You got to tell the story about the phone calls you kept getting after you married this guy.
Okay, so David French, we get married over everyone's protest, and we moved to New York just randomly. And when I was in New York, the phone started ringing. And it was always these sexy women with these sultry voices. They were asking to speak to David. And it happened repeatedly. And I'd say, oh, he's not here. He's not here. And then at 3 o'clock in the morning and at 4 o'clock in the morning. And at one time, this lady started crying. And she was like, I just saw him last night. And I was thinking, what do you mean you saw him last night? And I said, where'd you see him? And she goes, I saw him at a club in Soho. And I was thinking, well, he works in a law firm in Midtown. And I was like, are you sure you're talking about the same David? And I was like, he's tall, he's blonde. And she was like, he wrote down his number and this is it. And it was our number. And so I hung up the phone, and this kept going for like 3 weeks, women constantly calling. And David was nonplussed because he was working so much. And I would when he would come home, I'd give him a list, and he'd say, these are the calls that you missed. And he'd say, I don't even know a Desiree. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've made the biggest mistake of my life. This guy is like some sort of libertine scoundrel. And then it turns, eventually a man called, and he was like, may I speak to David? It turned out it was David Lee Roth's agent. And David Lee Roth, apparently we were randomly assigned his number. And he was still,
believe that?
He was still using it. Wow. He was like meeting women across Manhattan and giving. And so David French eventually started breaking up with him over the phone. They'd say, oh, do a lot of women call here? And he goes, yes, I'm so sorry. And they would cry. And he goes, it's okay. Anyway.
David Lee Roth.
Yeah.
Nancy, let me ask you this. I relate. Obviously, I didn't come out of the right. But I grew up a boy preacher. And one of the things that I became disheartened by is meeting evangelist preachers that did not live by what they preached. As you began to see people move away from you when you went with Donald Trump, did you feel that they really didn't believe in the conservatism and the Reagan kind of conservatism that you did? Or did you feel that they were just frauds all along and they would just go with what was popular? I mean, how did you negotiate that in your own head?
I think about it even to this day, because I wonder if they were just lying the whole time, or if, I think if you put them under a lie detector test, they would say that they do believe in all of these conservative principles. So I really wonder if it's more of a Lord of the Rings Gollum type thing, where they just want the power, they want the ring of power, and they'll do anything to get that. So they'll compromise, but they don't view it as that. So it's sort. I don't even think they're gaslighting.
But what is it though? Like your friends that you grew up with in church, David's friends, my friends, what is it? They're not getting the power. Everything he does is the antithesis of everything we were taught. You go down the Beatitudes. He is the opposite of everything our parents pushed us to be. And again, the key, that when we fall short, ask for forgiveness. That is the center of our faith. And yet he says, I don't need to ask for forgiveness. I've never done anything wrong.
Yeah, it's shocking.
I still don't know what's in it for them to turn their back on everything that they've been taught.
You know, I think it's probably because we hate the other side so much. You know, there's so much political acrimony. When you grow up, you know, you learn about the Clintons. I grew up listening to Rush Limbaugh. So
Right.
there was, you know, so you get in this line of thought where you'll do anything to defeat the enemy, your perceived political enemy. But really, there are no political enemies. Like, we're all Americans. We should be able to work together.
And that's when you talk about the lie of the lesser of two evils.
Right.
And that's where we are.
Right. Don't choose evil.
Right.
There's a third option.
All right. The new book is titled Ghosted, an American Story. Such an important book to read to understand what's going on right now. And it's on sale today. Nancy French, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
And tell David that I really loved his work in Panama. The song. He's great video.
Hot for teachers.
Starts talking about pulling the seat back, you know.
That might be the wrong David.
Oh, is that the wrong David?
I think so, maybe. I don't know.
All right. With that, the third hour of Morning Joe starts right now.
Hey, everyone. MSNBC has a new and improved app. You'll get real-time alerts and analysis, live blogs, in-depth essays, video highlights, and the best 2024 election coverage. Download the new MSNBC app. Here's how to do it. You tap on the App Store on your phone. You hit search on the bottom right corner. You type in MSNBC. You click on the MSNBC app. You click on Get or the cloud icon and enjoy it.